Good evening and welcome to the Cheese Room podcast with me, the caller, live from the Man Cave, here to talk to you for the next hour or so about the upcoming fixture against the Blades at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium tomorrow. It's an exciting time to be a Spurs fan, and no one gets more excited about being a Spurs fan than Davo, who joins me there. Hello, Davo. How is Australia today? Are the birds singing?
Hello, caller. I'm very, very excited at the moment. Very excited about the start to our season.
Is that your excited voice, basically?
Yeah, and the brand of football that we're playing. I'm really animated today, and I'm looking forward to discussing all things Tottenham today.
Well, I mean, I'm very happy for you. That is good, and I'm glad you're so enthused about Tottenham's start to the season. I've also got joining me Jack. Hello, Jack. Jack's with us for about an hour. Then he's got to go for a haircut, as you can tell, he needs one. Jack, how are you this evening? How is America?
America's fine, I guess. I'll leave that aside. But I am thrilled to be with you guys. It's never a bad day when I get to spend time with Dave and the caller and my good friend Stuart to talk Tottenham. I mean, you can't ask for anything more than that at all.
Absolutely not. And illuminated like an angel. He's got a halo around his head this evening. Some say he's my doppelganger, but to us, it's Stuart. And Stuart will be revealing later on in the show who is the lucky prize winner of the ticket giveaway we've been running. And that person will be going to the game this weekend, courtesy of Stuart. So, Stuart, welcome to the show. Thanks for your generosity. I'm excited to know who's won, but we won't dwell on it too much at the moment. Well, I'm sure we'll come to that later in the show. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Had a nice little break to Madeira this week, which helped pass the time while we were on the international break. I didn't watch a single minute of England. And yeah, had a nice little time. I thoroughly recommend Madeira. Great little place. Only a short little trip from England. Probably a little bit longer for the likes of Jack and Dave. But a recommendation nonetheless. And also we're now so close to more Ange Ball. I can't wait. Well, I'm actually so excited for tomorrow. It's like this is a new feeling that I've forgotten I used to have about going to watch Tottenham. And I'm really excited to get up and go to Tottenham tomorrow. So yeah, looking forward to talking about the game and other stuff.
Yeah, I can.
Did you eat Madeira cake when you were?
No, do you know what? Me and my wife thought about this on the way home. We were like, we didn't actually have any Madeira cake.
Oh well, go. Interesting.
I'm going back, so I'll make sure I make up for it.
Yeah. Well, look, I'm glad you've had a lovely holiday, Stuart, and I'm glad you're going to be taking a cheese head with you to the game. But tonight we're going to be talking about all that and more. We've got Madison and Ange Pro, the Month Awards, Sheffield United preview to get through, predict the score, lots of other news. I'm sure there'll be some ENIC out stuff in the run sheet that's been lovingly prepared by the Australian Buffon over there. But firstly, Shana Tova to all the cheeseheads celebrating the New Year this weekend. Dave, you should be at the synagogue, should you not?
I should be, but I may not be. Moving on.
I love that. Yeah, Craig, I can confirm there is no hair dye, but I have just come out the shower because I've been getting very sweaty on the old Peloton. So there you go. Let's start with the Manager and Player of the Month awards. So we've got Ange Postecoglou, Manager of the Month. There he is, Big Ange, getting the coveted trophy, first one of the season. Hopefully, many more. And of course, Matters winning Player of the Month award, 2 goals, 2 assists in the opening 4 fixtures. Let's have thoughts of this. Let us know while you're watching at home what you think about this. Is there a curse on the Manager of the Month award? Of course, it is witty banter. There's no such thing as curses. Otherwise, Steve Diver and Davo would have cursed each other to hell by now. But it would be interesting to know your thoughts. Let us know in the chat. Also, make sure you hit that like button and the subscribe button if you haven't already. Costs you nothing, takes a second, helps us out loads. But let's go around the panel. Davo, is this a worthy award? Are you happy that Andrew's got Manager of the Month?
Well, a couple of things here. It's interesting that on one side of the picture we've got Daniel Day-Lewis playing Abraham Lincoln on the coaching staff there. So I think that's interesting news on that one. And the bloke standing next to Ryan Caretaker Mason, is it me or does he look a bit Danny Dyer? I don't know. It's just the way my brain's working. It is me. I think it looks a bit Danny Dyer. Look, I'm extremely excited about the fact that we have got the real business end of the season, as we all know, is August, and the fact that we have got the Manager of the Month and the Player of the Month award surely sets us up for success for the season. Just as I thought when Nuno won it a couple of years ago, and set us on the way to the C word that seems to trigger everyone in the WhatsApp group this week. But there you go.
Which C word?
You know, the C word.
No.
The Italian C word that everyone gets so upset about.
Oh, Conte. Okay. And, Stuart, do you think we're all doomed now that Andrew's won this award? Are you half class full, or do you believe in curses? Do you believe in Santa?
Of course I believe in Santa. Santa's real. I think I know there's been a few situations over the years where a manager or a Player of the Month award has coincided with some bad juju, but I think on this occasion, with Ange in charge, I think we're going to break that hoodoo. I think the fixture list has been kind, and on the back of it, and I just think he's just I think we're going to do it. I'm not worried about that.
Okay, Jack, half glass full or half glass empty, are you, sir?
Well, I usually like to say it's not half empty or half full, but it's refillable. But in this situation,
that's
it's good that you're aware of your environmental responsibility.
Oh, that is smooth. That one.
Are you carbon neutral?
I probably am not carbon neutral. No, I wouldn't claim to be. No one can live up to the standard of.
Well, did you know, Jack? Did you know that we did have someone who claims to be carbon neutral because he offsets all his emissions? Which, given his intake of steak, is a lot of emissions.
It's a lot of emissions to offset.
On the show tonight, but unfortunately, he's too tired. So there you go. I'm just saying that so Dave-O can clip it later and banter him. But yeah, Steve, the legend diver, the accountant, could be with us tonight because he's too busy offsetting emissions. So Jack, you think that we'll be all right, do you?
I tend not to. I'm not a big person of curses, although I did grow up a Chicago Cubs fan, and for anyone who knows that history, I certainly believed in that curse of the Billy Goat, but we won't get into that. I did vote for Moyes just to throw a hedge in there, just to possibly maybe not let Ange win that award, because I don't want to tempt fate. So I would have been just as happy of him not to win it and just let Tottenham continue ride a little bit under the radar. But instead, he's on TalkSport and now winning Manager of the Month. And so I'd say it's kind of hard to hide the fact that people are noting that we're playing some pretty nice football and doing well above what most people expected or what most pundits thought.
Okay. Well, that is all interesting stuff. And Maddison obviously won the Player of the Month because he was outstanding. But I don't think we need to dwell on that. But we do have a couple of trivia questions beautifully, lovingly prepared by the run sheet provider, the Buffon from Australia. The first, which is to the panel, and you can play along with this in the chat. Who was the first Spurs manager to win the Manager of the Month in the Premier League? I hope he knows the answers. I don't. So would you care to take a shot at this, Stuart?
Oh, Martin Yole?
Really? In the Premier League history, Spurs?
Yeah.
All right.
So the Premier League started 92, 93.
Yeah,
and Yole became manager in October 2004. So you're saying over about 10 years of so what? How many months in the season?
I mean, let's be honest, we were a bit crap back then.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
That's
It's very
70
possible.
months of football,
I'll
and
go
not
World
one
Cup.
manager has won it. So 70
World
months.
Martin, I'm
Yeah,
going World
okay,
Cup.
Okay.
Okay. Sticking with that, Jack. Any advance on a Martin Yol? Yes.
That's where I was going to go, just because that's the first real knowledge of us starting to play some pretty decent football. Because recollection is not a fan, unfortunately. Back in the 90s, as you might imagine here in America, that I wouldn't have been able to get a decent guess. But I'll go. I was going to say, other than that, that's probably a good shot for me.
I'm gonna. Was David Pleat Premier League here? I think he was just. So I'll go for Pleat.
Okay, so Craig's gone with where's Craig? He's gone with Ray Clements and Doug Livermore, and the answer is, and I'm going to give a really crap impersonation of how he used to give an interview, which is, yeah, the lads did well. Yeah, the lads did well. That's right. The answer is, it's Jerry Francis,
Who also had a wonderful Buffon.
He had a wonderful Buffon, and I think he collected racing pigeons, didn't he? That was his big hobby.
I don't know, but that's
crap football and racing pigeons, and there you go. And Jack didn't start supporting Tottenham in that era of crap football and racing pigeons. You really missed out.
As if that wasn't enough for you. As if that wasn't enough for you. We've got a follow-on question.
Have we?
Yeah, and the initials ENIC are mentioned in it. There's a shock. First one of the evening for Davo. So again, play along in the chat. Name 5 managers under ENIC not to win the Manager of the Month award.
And just to be clear on this, is that it's those who may be seen. This is a clue. It's just anyone who's ever managed a team in that period. All right.
I don't think I could name you 5.
He's getting his Harry Potter diary book out.
Santini, can we agree on Santini as one?
I can't think of 5 things and keep that in my head.
So
Santini, Christian Gross. Is that 2?
No, he's not ENIC.
Was he not?
No, that was Alan Satellite Dish Sugar.
No. Well, Santini
is one. Well done, caller.
It would be the height of irony if AVB won Manager of the Month, wouldn't it?
Why is that the definition of the height of irony, Jack?
I mean, Nuno won it. I mean, it's not necessarily. I mean, we've had a lot of managers win Manager of the Month who people forget even existed. So I'm just assuming it's not much.
You're going with AVB, yeah?
Yeah, I'll back him up on that. Is that right? Yeah.
It's incorrect. I think he's won it twice.
Oh God.
I'm going to go.
Look, I think this is right. Hyundai Ramos.
Yeah,
correct. The irony is the only trophy-winning manager under the ENIC reign has not won Manager of the Month. Well done.
Brilliant. Craig's saying a lot of names. George Graham.
Gorgeous George. He didn't win Manager of the Month. Under ENIC. He didn't last very long. Because remember, ENIC sacked him and got in Hoddle 5 days before the FA Cup semi-final. Their first decision. This was not meant to turn into an ENIC out rant, by the way. It was not.
Hoddle. There you go. There's another one.
Incorrect. Hoddle won it. Incorrect. Martin Yoles won it.
I'm struggling for managers now. I'm going to have to Google.
So you got Santini, you got Ramos.
Ryan Mason.
Does that count? Does that really count?
We got Ryan Mason. Very good.
Stellini.
Really, Dave?
No, we're not having Ryan Mason.
Dim Tim. How about
Dim
that?
Tim. Well done. Dim Tim never won it.
Okay, that's better guess.
Right. But he discovered Harry Kane. He should have won that one, shouldn't he?
He should. Well, his record was second to none, but he didn't win Manager of the Month. So that's on 4, right? That's 4.
So far we got Ramos.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got Gorgeous George. We got Santini. Yeah. We got Dim Deadwood. There's one more.
I just can't believe you're counting Ryan Mason. That's very low.
I'm not counting Mason. Don't worry about that. Okay, come on. Do you want me to flash up who's got it? Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Here we go.
plead. David,
So
plead.
Craig, you got 4 out of 5. Well done. But the irony is, the man from Harlow, Mr. Hoddle, did win Manager of the Month twice. So there you go. But well done, Craig. Your prize is a feeling of self-satisfaction. Congratulations.
Well, and what a feeling that must be. Well done. Let's not have too many more of Dave's quizzes. Dave, you are banned from mentioning the word ENIC for the rest of the show. See if you can get through. Let's talk about the game at the weekend. So Sheffield United preview. Have we got their recent results there, Dave? That would be lovely, please.
Have we got their recent results, Caller?
Oh, there we go.
I think we do. I think we do.
So a
so
mixed start for the season, really. So, beaten by Forest, Man City, Palace, and a draw with Everton.
And a loss to Lincoln City in the Cup.
Yeah, not scored many goals. I mean, what say you? Should we be winning this and going, potentially top of the league, Jack?
Well, when I was on the show before the Burnley game, I confidently predicted that we'd run through them because I would figure they would play open and try and play football. I'm not so sure that Sheffield's going to do that. Not only did they really play Man City quite well, I mean they sat in and they were disciplined and they really did look a little dangerous every once in a while when they got the ball and got across into their third. But now you're looking at a situation where they've got Egan as their center back is out. They got an attacker, a forward, Asula. I think that's how it's pronounced. I could be mispronouncing. He's out. And then Baldock, the winger guy, is also out. He's actually fairly good. So they're missing a lot of pieces. So I assume they're going to sit even deeper and venture out even less in a very packed 3-5-2. And it's going to be very tough, I think. And it's going to be one of these games where we're going to have a lot of the ball, of course, and it's going to require some individual effort to get through that because they're not going to play and open themselves up the way Burnley is. So I'm going to be terribly disappointed like everyone if you don't get a 3 points, but it's going to be a little bit tougher, I think, than some people may think.
I think they'll sit in, but I think with our pressing and with our ability to break press and break teams down now, I just think we'll pass around them, to be honest. Stuart, are you of the same mind?
Yeah, I think with low blocks now, I think because we've got so many sort of attacking and quality attacking players that we put on the pitch, just purely because of how Ange wants to set up, I just think we'll just pepper the goal, and whether it ends up being like a 1-0 or a 2-0, I just think our shots on goal tomorrow is probably going to be quite high, I expect. I just don't think, like Jack was saying, with the level of injuries to key players that Sheffield United have got, it'd almost be suicidal for them to sort of go too gung-ho. So I don't think they'll have much choice to try and catch us on the break or catch us on a set piece or something like that. But I don't see anything other than a win tomorrow for us.
We owe them, don't we, Dave? We owe them for the cup last season.
Yeah. The cup last season, wasn't that team managed by what's his face, the Italian bloke? What's his name again? Yeah. And lots of people got very upset about it, particularly our well coiffured cheesehead colleague Craig, the head of East Midlands, soon to be, and West Midlands.
Tottenham. and the head of Cheese Room HR department. So be careful. Don't mock Craig. But I want you to talk us through the Sheffield United lineup, Dave. Who are the danger men in your best Sean Bean impression voice thing?
Well, how many of them are injured? Because didn't Jack just say Egan's out?
Yep. Egan's out and Baldock's out. They also got, not on this board, as a Sulu is one of the forwards who plays McBurney's spot. So I expect to see McBurney there.
Yeah, so this is their team last time out against Everton when it was 2-2. And what you'll see here is almost as many of number of Sean Bean's ex-wives, because I think he's been married about 5 times, which is ironic because I think he played Henry who's the one who had loads of the wives? Henry V.
The eighth.
Henry VIII. He had 6 wives, didn't he?
Dave, I know you've left Britain, but surely you know that.
Yeah, but I got a B in my A-level history. Thank you very much. The summer of Italia 90. All right,
just does explain why you're not so learned.
Given my huge knowledge of Sheffield United football and Sean Bean's ex-wives, I would say that that is a team that's got some surnames with lots of letters in, and we should be worried about that.
Jack, would you like to offer up any more analysis than that?
At this point, I think the biggest danger is Archer getting free into open space. He's quite good. He is actually even on my FPL team as a bench option. That kid is dynamic, can get forward quickly, and if you're not careful, he's got a good foot from outside. I think he's the one who scored the goal. Well, he didn't score a goal. He hit it off the post and it ricocheted off Pickford's head, I think, if I'm not mistaken, in that Everton game. He's got some activity that you want to keep an eye on. I'd say that's probably the most dangerous. With Baldock out, who I'd say Archer is the one that you got to keep contained. And good news is he's running down Romero's side for a lot of the games, so I think that that should take care of it. But he's the one to watch, I think.
Yeah.
And how many points did you get in Fantasy League last time around, Jack? You might want to share with us.
Well, I am one of the few people in the entire world evidently had all 3 hat tricks starting. So I had a good day. I don't remember the total. Yeah.
Yeah. He had Haaland, Son, and Ferguson.
How many points is that?
I think I had 109, 100 and something like that. For the
3 players. Shame you didn't use your triple caps,
yeah, it is.
So look, 17th in the table. Table doesn't mean much after 4 games. 3-5-2. Recent meetings. Have we got any? Oh, there's the league table. There they are. Yeah, it doesn't mean anything. 1 point. Should beat them. That would be my summary, if that's not too arrogant. Recent meetings between us and Sheffield United, Davo. I know you're the man. Oh, look at this.
Recent results.
He's so pleased with himself today. He's a bit lost there, but he's so pleased with himself today. He's prepped the run sheet and the slideshow. Clearly, he never does any work. But look, last season, obviously, that very disappointing visit up tip north. And then besides that, it's a couple of big wins for Spurs, a big win for Sheffield United in 2020, and a draw in 2019. So I mean, we should be confident going into this one, shouldn't we, fellas? I mean, let me know in the chat if you're not confident, because I want to hear your negativity, because I've banned Dave from it. So it'd be great to have some on the show. What was the significance of the 1-1 draw, Davo, in 2019?
The significance? It's interesting you say that, because I think just back to that cup match, which I think the cup match last season was the moment that the Tottenham supporters turned against the Italian manager, whose name we can't mention, because up until then it was all about the owners of the club, the Joe Lewis family trust, not backing him properly enough. And but that night where we lost to Sheffield United and Kane was on the bench was, I think, the moment that the Tottenham supporters turned against him. But the significance of Saturday night of November 2019 was, of course, that was the last game in charge by the sainted Maurizio Pochettino, the now current Chelsea manager, which, as you all remember from the documentary All or Not Much, he was sacked on the Tuesday, and that very long agreement was signed, reviewed by lots of lawyers, and signed in a cafe within 24 hours the next day at the training ground. Lawyers work very quickly these days.
I remember it well, actually. I thought it was one of the worst performances I'd seen under Poch. And I was crying out for him to be sacked and replaced with Mourinho. So hey, what do I know? That was back in the day. I remember talking about it on the podcast, actually. So it shows how long I've been doing this. Too long, probably.
No comment.
No, none required, Dave. None required. So, in terms of team news, Spurs look like we'll have available Heung-Min and Romero. Both had an injury scare on international duty. Giovanni Lo Celso, the perennial injury doubt, is again an injury doubt. So there we go. So, the question for me really is, Does Brennan Johnson come into the fray, and what sort of side would you pick out, guys? Dave, have you got an idea of how you would line up?
Yeah, I'd definitely keep those two centre backs. I wouldn't rotate them for any of our reserve centre backs that we currently have at the moment. So for me, they start. Just saying, I'm being controversial, and I'm sorry about that. I'll tell you what I'd like to do. I'd like to see Brennan Johnson start for Mr. I'll move inside on my left foot, Kulusevski. So I'd like to see him start instead of Kulu. I think Sonny in the middle because I need to stick him in my fantasy team. And he was on the hang on. If Mana might not be able to play, it's a Jewish New Year. If he's a good Jewish boy like me, he should be down the synagogue today.
Well, he's available for selection, so there you go.
So he's as good a Jewish boy as I am. And hopefully my mum's not watching this. So yeah, I'd keep, I'd obviously keep it the same. You're gonna have that midfield in. Maddison is the key. This is the interesting test for Maddison because, as we all know, under Poch and even Harry, that when the teams park the bus at the lane, like your Stokes, and we can't break them down, they win 1-0. This is the moment for Maddison to unlock the blockage from the away team. So that's what I see.
The Blades lock.
To unpick the Blades lock and send Sean Bean back to his sixth wife's house in tears.
Go back to your O2 commercial, Sean Bean.
Yes.
See what you can do. How do you see it, Stuart? Do you think the lineup will be similar to that? Because I don't.
I just think I'll be surprised if he changes from the Burnley lineup. There's no injuries, so why would you change it at this point?
No.
I don't think Brennan has been part of the training setup for long enough to start. I'd actually like him to start against Arsenal, to be honest, because I think he'll cause chaos on that side. So yeah, I think he'll remain unchanged for this one.
Jack, agreed or disagree?
Well, I think as I peel through the dripping irony and sarcasm from Dave, he eventually came to a good point, which is regardless of who we play on the front line, this game will come down to Maddison because he's the piece we haven't had for years, and the player who can work in the spaces and still, as you say, unlock a hardened defense and find that pass to someone moving through goals. So I do, and plus it's free ticket ability, which was mentioned by someone earlier. I think that's pretty critical. In terms of the front line, I would say that if Richie's headspace were in the right place, this is not a bad game for him because his general way he gets under players' skin, the way he can hassle defenders, the way he can press, little hold-up play wouldn't be the worst to have in this game. But I'm guessing maybe he may not be in a place right now to start. Maybe, I'm not really sure. I'm just kind of reading between the lines as what's been said and in the presser with Ange. So, and with Brennan, I'd love to see Brennan play. I mean, this game may not offer a lot of space for him to use his speed unless we get up a goal and they have to come out a little bit maybe. But I always want to see a new player, and Ange is not afraid of throwing someone straight in as he did with Mickey, obviously. So I would love to see him. But that'll be, I think Dave's actually right that this is Maddison's game to win to a large extent because he's the one who's going to be critical, I think, in working that defense.
I think Richarlison might come back in and see Son switch to the left. Actually,
okay.
It wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. I think he needs his confidence up, and it's a good game for him to play in. I think if you think about the Sheffield United going to sit deep, it will suit his pressing style, and I think Sonny drifting off on the left. I'd be surprised if Solomon is a consistent starter for us, but I'm happy to be surprised.
I do think that if he does start with Richarlison and pushes Son back out wide, I certainly won't complain. I think if we're going to play Richarlison, I just generally think that he just needs more balls into the box that are sort of for headers because
I agree.
against was it Peru? I can't remember who Brazil had in the week. Although it was eventually ruled offside. The header was absolutely brilliant.
So Richarlison was ruled offside, was he? I've not heard that one before.
But not much, Dave. This time it was actually really a real sort of fine one.
Right.
But in terms of the header, under pressure as well. I just don't think we're taking advantage of his strengths.
Well, we're not. We're not. I mean, to be fair to Richarlison, and I'm as much of a critic as anyone. I think he's been pretty disappointing given the enormous transfer fee, which spreadsheet Dan, data Dan, as Dave would say, forked out for. But I think when you look at it, we're not playing to his strengths whatsoever. He gets bugger all service. Like, he's had no service. And yet everyone's expecting him to bang goals in. So it's a little bit of a difficult one, to be honest. It wouldn't surprise me at all if Richie starts, because it's a good game for him to get his confidence back in. So, and potentially score a couple of goals.
Well,
you've got to give him service. And I think the interesting thing with Ange's system, it just doesn't rely on a striker. It doesn't rely on a striker at all. The goals are coming from all over the place.
I think his best chance of service is Perisic. Perisic playing on the left-hand side, because
I'd advocate that, Dave, because I think Perisic, I mean, he set up a couple of goals for Croatia in the break. He's fantastic. His delivery is absolutely still world class. It really is. So I'd have no problem at all seeing that. But I think that the most likely scenario is we're unchanged. I'm just saying what I would do is try and give Richie a bit of confidence. Maybe bring him on if we're winning the game 2-0 or something like that. But I think you've got to give him confidence, because you can run him down as much as you like, to be honest. But if you're a Spurs fan, surely you want him to come good, and you want him to have some confidence, and that he's got the ability to do it. He just needs to do it. Just needs the opportunity to perform. Football is a massive confidence game. You've seen it so many times before. Gareth Bale was terrible for years. Once he got the wind in his sails, he was a world beater. And I'm not comparing Richarlison to Gareth Bale, to be really clear, but it's just an example of how gaining confidence can turn someone around.
Yeah.
Well, what made Gareth Bale's career was where the African Cup of Nations, because Disco Benny had to go off and play for Cameroon, and then Bale started at left back. And he started putting in some good performance. Disco Benny came back, and that pushed out Cranchar, and that was it. Off we went. So who knows? We've got the African Cup of Nations coming up. That might be the start of someone else, like Højbjerg.
Well, yeah, it would quite possibly.
He was really great on the international break. You can't argue, I think he scored a couple of goals as well, didn't he?
Yeah, against, was it Finland, and who else was it?
San Marino, something.
Yeah, San Marino. Yeah, he did well. It was a good goal against San Marino.
Dave,
I was only guessing.
Dave.
Yeah, no, I'm not muting Dave. I think he's right. But yeah. Look, some stats. Spurs have won 3 consecutive league matches, which they failed to do at any stage of last season. And victory would give Spurs 13 points from 5 games and signal our best start to a league campaign since 1955. 1965, when Dave was in his pomp. He remembers them very well.
Yeah, I went to that game with Harold Wilson, the Labour Prime Minister at the time.
Did you?
Good afternoon out it was, yeah.
Yeah. So it's exciting time for us, and of course Sheffield United remain winless. I think overall we should win. Let's have some score predictions from you all. Davo, give me your score prediction.
3-0 Tottenham. Sonny's going to get 2.
Jesus Christ, that was positive. What's wrong with you? And
then Richie will get a goal. And the whole crowd will be in tears of happiness for him.
I would be.
Until the VAR check rules them offsides.
And once more, he channels his inner Chris Armstrong, who played under Jerry Francis, who we talked about before.
Okay. Stuart, prediction?
2-0.
2-0, nice, solid 2-0 win. Jack, what are you saying?
Yeah, I'll echo the 2-0.
I'm going to go big. I'm going to say we're going to win 5-0. Richarlison hat-trick. Off the bench.
That is big.
Yeah, I might even put a little bet on that. The odds will be
I would love that.
thousands to 1. Yeah, so look, let's hope we can. Let's hope we can. I'm just reading the run sheet, and one of the questions was for Diver, what's on the Tunnel Club menu? Which does make me laugh. But
we should have that. We should have that on the slides. He should have provided that.
He should have. Well, he did provide it. Actually, in credit to him, it was in our little chat group. Yeah,
oh, okay.
I think it was basically steak. I think we know what Steve's probably going to opt for: lobster and steak. Ticket giveaway. I need to go to the fridge and get a 0% beer. What's happened to me? I don't know. I'm not half as amusing without beer. But Stuart, talk through your ticket giveaway. And if you, what's that? A younger Winston Churchill. Right on the majors, right on the shores.
Is that your Al Jolson impression?
I don't know what Alf Garner.
Al Jolson, not Alf Jolson. One for the kids.
I'll be back in a minute. So talk through the Sheffield United ticket giveaway, please, Stuart. And then you can always move on. If I'm not back in time, you can always move on without me, Dave, because you're such a talented host these days.
I'm sorry.
Well, we were lucky enough to be able to give away another ticket after the successful one for Man United, which obviously led to a fantastic win and performance. So maybe they're lucky. Who knows? We'll have to test it out tomorrow. But the successful winner, we did it a little bit differently this time, actually, because the person who's got the ticket actually won it the first time when we were playing Man United. But unfortunately, his wife is going through a battle with cancer at the moment and was suffering with chemotherapy. So he had to be with her that weekend. So I thought the only right thing to do was to give him the opportunity to go this time, which he gladly took. And Jamie is going to attend the game tomorrow with us. So well done, Jamie. Good luck. And let's make sure and see if it is actually going to be a good luck charm. Because if that is, that would be amazing. But yeah, so Jamie's going to be the giveaway winner for this weekend's game at Sheffield against Sheffield United.
Well done, Jamie. Congratulations. Well done, Jamie. Now, I hear, Stuart, that you have got more exciting news about a ticket giveaway. Could you exclusively reveal it to us?
Right. If there wasn't, I don't think we could be giving a better ticket giveaway than this one. The return of Poch. We will be giving a ticket away for Tottenham Chelsea, which has fabulously now been moved to a Monday night at 8:00, which is just delightful. What's even more delightful is Dalo's going to be there. So that makes it even more special, along with Poch coming. So we will figure out what we're going to do and when we're going to give it away. But mark that in your calendars. If you're really interested in going, plan, because then if you do get it, you can go. So yeah, that'd be the next one that we're going to do in the very near future.
So Chi says, listen out for that. You can win the opportunity to go and see the return of the Sainted Poch, which is taking place, I think it's the first Monday in November. I will hopefully be there in my Liam Gallagher Parker, and do come and say hello if you want to. And if you don't want to say hello, you don't have to either. It's a free world, isn't it? Yeah. So there we go. Thank you very much, Stuart. It's very, very generous of you. So what we are going to do, as is the tradition on the preview show, Jack, are you all right for time to do this bit?
Yes, sir.
We are now, if I get this right, we are going to now do the predictions for the weekend's game. So what we're going to do is we'll go around the panel on each game and ask for people for the panelists for their predictions, and play along in the chat if you want to, in terms of making a prediction for the game. So the first game kicking off at 12:30, lunchtime Saturday kickoff, 9:30 in Sydney, Australia. What time would that be in North Carolina?
That'd be 7:30 in the morning.
7:30 in the morning. And what time would that be in Bristol? 12:30.
12:29.
12:29. There we go. So I'm always a minute behind in Bristol. There you go. Never been the same since trip hop. So Wolves versus Liverpool. Wolves obviously featuring one of our favourite away guests, and hopefully we'll get him back on the Wolves TV. Dave, lovely fella. I'm going Wolves struggling against Liverpool. The media's darlings. Jurgen Klopp can do no wrong. I'm going 3-1 to Liverpool. Stuart, what say you?
I'm going to go with a score draw on this one, a 1-1 maybe.
Oh.
Because Wolves have been playing okay at the moment. They've just not been getting results since they brought in who's the guy that came in from Bournemouth?
Gary O'Neill.
That's it. They haven't been playing too badly. It's just they haven't been getting results.
There we go, Jack.
This is also could be named the Klopp Moaning Bowl, because he was once again complaining about Liverpool being selected for the 12:30 spot, and the fact that he hasn't seen 4 of his internationals, the ones coming back from South America, hadn't even seen them before they had to leave for Molyneux. So with him complaining loudly and moaning about the start time that his team has to face, then I can say without any doubt in my mind they'll win 2-0.
There we go. There we go. No one's predicting Wolves. Obviously, Caller would come in.
Wolves to win. Wolves to win.
Is that what?
1-0. There you go.
Father Caller has said that? I think it is. Right, next, moving on. We've got Aston Villa versus Crystal Palace. I'm going to go for Villa 2-1.
Ooh, is it my go?
It is.
Villa have been in bad form recently. I'm going to go Palace away win. Do we have to give actual scores or just?
Yes, we do. Yes, that's what we asked for here.
Okay. I'm going to go 2-1 to Palace.
Very good. Jack?
Go with a 1-1 draw.
Oh, 1-1 draw. Okay, fair enough. Right, next up, Fulham, who've got a lovely ground in a lovely part of London, versus Luton, who don't have a lovely ground. So here we go. Fulham, I reckon they're going to win 3-1.
I'm going to go 2-0 Fulham.
I will also go 3-1 to Fulham, because their fans who pay the most expensive prices in the Premier League deserve that win against the newly promoted Luton team.
Are they the most expensive tickets in the Premier League?
They are now.
Oh, I thought we topped the table for that, but there you go.
Well, I brought that to your attention just for that reason. We're number 2. Oh, we're third.
Really?
Even better.
Third behind Arsenal, yeah.
Oh, well, that's a shame. Anyway, for my narrative, Caller, we're up to Fulham Luton. Caller.
Yeah, well, I think. By the way, Villa are going to beat Palace easily, 2-0. Yeah, can't see past a good win for Fulham. Really, I'm going to go 2-1.
Okay, there we go. Now the next one is Manchester United versus Brighton. So look, anyone who's travelling on the M1 for the game, just be aware. A lot of traffic, a lot of those Man United fans coming up from Sussex. So just be careful as you go up and head back down. They say that satire's dead. Man United versus Brighton. Man United, there's an aura about them. There's a little bit of a whiff, a stench. You know, off the field scandals. They still haven't sold the club, the beloved Glazers. Ten Hag's looking a bit shaky. The media have got a narrative. So I'm going Man United 2-0. Caller.
Mine. I do Stuart first. Go round everyone.
Yes, I apologise. Stuart, go.
I actually think Brighton are going to win this. I think it's going to be 3-1 Brighton.
Ooh.
Because Man United are in disarray at the moment. No Sancho, no Anthony. Martinez is apparently injured. Amrabat is injured apparently as well. So they'll have their weak midfield. Yeah, I think Brighton will win.
Yeah. I mean, this one's actually tough because I think they're a better side if Anthony comes out. I don't rate that guy at all. I think they'll be better, but at the same time, to your point, there's a lot of problems behind the scenes. Well, it's not behind the scenes anymore. It's pretty much front and center, I guess. So I liked Carey's pick. Actually, I will join Carey with the 2-2 draw.
Desmond. Okay. Desmond. Tough one to call this because you don't know what Man United team are going to turn up, to be honest. You'd have to fancy Brighton in current form. I'll go Brighton 2-1. And Man United, Ten Hag, hanging on.
There you go. There you go. A question from Cantab. Why is this game at 3 p.m.? I don't think any of us control the fixture list or the TV schedules. I know that we're huge media influencers here on the Cheese Room, but we don't have. We've got
Dave, the massive international fan base who can actually watch the game at 3:00.
Yeah, I have the answer to it. I actually had that one moved because when my own match is that afternoon here locally, so I needed it to be earlier in the day so I could watch the Tottenham game and then get to my football match. So
how is your season going, Jack, by the way?
We have 3 wins and a loss. And we play tomorrow probably the best over 50 team on the East Coast. They have won the North Carolina State Championship the last 3 years and placed first in a regional tournament over the summer. So,
and what position do you play?
I play center back.
Right.
Or fullback, depending on the need.
Right. Are you like a Romero or a VDV?
I would be more like a Dawson.
Wow. So your team will be really up Dawson's Creek this weekend. Yeah. There we go. It's a nice reference. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Right, man. Moving on to two of the loveliest clubs in the Premier League. For many different reasons, West Ham versus Manchester City. So interesting, it's the battle of the stadiums built by the government. West Ham, of course, built for the Olympic Stadium. Manchester City's built for the Commonwealth Games. We don't just throw this together, do we now? West Ham versus Man City. Obviously, everyone's going to put Haaland on as captain for the Fantasy League. So I'm going to go 2-2.
2-2. Okay.
I agree with. I think it's a draw. I'll go 1-1.
All right, I'll go 4-1 City. 4-1 City.
Oof.
Yeah, I don't know what you're thinking. I think City will win easy. 3-0.
Okay.
There we go. King Hoddle's calling them wet spam. There we go. And King Hoddle, I just want to say this, just made a reference to George Melly. Only me and possibly Stuart would know who George Melly is. But there we go. Right, anyway. Newcastle versus Brentford. It's the late kickoff. It's just on or before Noel's house party on BBC One. Sorry, Jack, another reference you won't get. So Newcastle featuring Kieran Trippier, who, of course, was banned for telling his mate to put a lump on it to go to Atletico Madrid versus Brentford, whose striker is not around at the moment. Newcastle, again, a whiff, a vibe of a struggle this season. There's a narrative going on there. What could happen versus Brentford? So I'm going 2-1 Newcastle. Stuart?
I think Newcastle will win this. I think it might actually be a high-scoring game. I'm going to go 3-2.
Oh.
Yeah, that may be the case. I'm with both of you. I'll stick with the 2-1 because that's what I was thinking. Newcastle's struggling, but they've also had probably one of the toughest schedules out, and there's enough talent there. I think they should get past Brentford, as good as Brentford is.
Brentford at home are a tough nut to crack, but I think away, I think that the Saudis will probably win. I think Brentford away are a bit weaker, so I would go for a Newcastle 2-0 win.
I mean, given the ownership of the club of Newcastle, and if their poor form continues, I'm a bit worried for Eddie Howe. Fingers may be cut off if he doesn't do well. Sorry about that. Poor joke, bad taste. I do apologise for anyone who wants to cancel me. And let's not forget. Sorry, Craig was inquiring after your social arrangements on the weekend. Do you want to answer that one?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm afraid work calls tomorrow, Craig. So no, I'm not there.
Oh, what a letdown!
So what is Tottenham supporters' loss is the great British retail public's gain this weekend.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. So moving on now to Sunday's game, Bournemouth versus Chelsea. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw.
Mm.
I'm going to go for a Bournemouth win.
Oh, yes, I like that.
2-1.
I will go the other opposite way. Chelsea finally lives up to their XG and wins 2-1.
Bournemouth win. Poching crisis.
Oh, Poching crisis, eh?
What we got? Crisis. Luis Enrique. PSG gets spanked at home by Nice.
Dear. That's not very nice.
So there we go. Very funny, Dave. Very funny.
I didn't actually mean that. So anyway, next up is the club recently bought. Fans protesting about the ownership, not happy with how the club's being run, the direction it's going in. There's been a change this weekend. They've been bought by 777, a US private equity mob. Jack, do you know about them?
Yes, I spend a lot of time with them. They're wonderful fellas.
Do they own your football team you play for as well?
No, unfortunately, I have not been able to seal that deal. We really could use the transfer infusion of cash, though, I have to admit.
That dodgy
777 or 711?
No, it's 777.
I don't know. It's 777. Anyway, will they get a new owner bounce? Versus Arsenal. The return of Arteta to his former stomping ground. I hate to say it, I think the Gooners are going to win 3-0.
I'm going to go with a draw. 2-2.
Yes, you and me the same, Stuart. This is a banana peel game for Arsenal. They're looking ahead.
Yeah, I don't see that either way. Happening. I think Arsenal are too good, and Everton are actually pretty shite.
Crap.
So I think they'll, 2-1 win for Arsenal.
Tell you, if Everton doesn't turn this around, that the Americans are going to be in trouble, because I don't know if with their finances, Everton goes down, and if they don't bounce right back up, they're in trouble. They are.
I think Everton will be all right, because I think there's 3 worse teams. To be honest,
yeah, that's
three promoted
again.
teams.
That's what they're hoping for again. Yeah. For what, the 3rd year in a row?
A 777 taking on the finance of the stadium. Then the new.
Yes.
Yes. That's a big pun.
That's my understanding anyway. I don't know that I know that for certain, but that's my understanding from the reading.
Well, you talk to your people, Jack. We'll talk to our people, i.e. Steve Diver.
Yeah, we'll do.
Right. Can you be a bit more quiet, caller? Because Steve's asleep now. We don't want to disturb him because he's tired. He's cuddled up in bed with Nubby Bear, or what's the name of that Children in Need Bear? One or the other. Anyway, Pudsey. There we go. Final game of the weekend. It's the Monday night game. It's on halfway. It's just before EastEnders starts. Nottingham Forest versus Burnley. After watching Vincent Kompany's attempts at defending against us, I'm going for a Forest 2-0. Serge Aurier to get a brace.
I'm going to go, Forest win 3-1.
Dave, if you put 10 quid on that Oreo brace, that will probably pay for your trip to London.
Yeah, that'd be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would. I'm going to, Nottingham Forest at home's good. Burnley's better than they've shown so far. I think they're going to be eventually okay. I think, actually, but I'll take Nottingham Forest 2-1.
Yeah. Didn't Forest make another couple of pretty decent signings late in the window as well?
Another couple.
I can't keep up.
I know they've got a lot of players at the African Cup of Nations in January, so they probably need them. But I think they've got about 6 of the team at the AFCON. So there we go. Forest will beat Burnley. I think they'll beat them 2-1. Serge Aurier with the winner. There you go.
A lot of Serge love today, isn't there?
Yeah, I don't love him that much, but never mind.
I thought you were about to put up a defence of Serge Aurier's career at Tottenham then, but go on then.
I think it's fairly indefensible, Davo, to be honest. But the only defence would be he was never really played in a wing-back position. But there you go.
When you look at, I just had a quick look at the Forest signings. Some bloody cracking signings in there.
Using the Brennan Johnson money well.
Yes.
There you go. As we paid 40 million over 10 years. In other news, the first trophy of the Ange Postecoglou era is with us. We have won a trophy this week. Davo, as you are so well informed on this subject, and it is a subject close to your heart, do you want to explain what that trophy is?
Well, it's great news. And when I woke up the other morning as I always do, put the phone on, look at the intellectual chat on the WhatsApp group that's taken place whilst I've been sleeping. Doesn't take me long. I noted and I popped open the champagne that I had on ice that we've won the best venue by Mondo Stadia, you know them, for the 2023 World Football Summit. So you've heard of Davos. You've heard of the Treaty of Versailles. So at the World Football Summit, we have won the best venue. And it recognises excellence in stadium and sports management with the key evaluation criteria such as fan experience. So obviously listening to Fool's Gold blasted out at full time.
Is it the best multi-purpose venue or is it the best stadium?
Well, it's excellence in stadium and sports venue management.
Okay.
Yeah. And so just to quote COYS data Dan, he has said, "We are truly honoured to receive this prestigious award, which serves as a testament to our commitment to providing unparalleled fan experiences at our stadium, like watching Musa Sissoko's control of football. This recognition motivates us to continue setting the gold standard in stadium management across the global sports industry." So well done to the board and everyone concerned there. Great news.
And it's I heard that it's going to look really lovely sitting right next to the Audi Cup. That it just complements it so well that it's going to be a thing to behold when you visit the stadium. So I hope you'll go by the trophy cabinet when you go to London and go to the stadium, Dave.
Best venue by Mondo Stadia. You'll never sing that.
You'll never sing that.
You'll never sing that. Best venue by Mondo Stadia. You'll never sing that.
I did do the stadium. I did do the stadium tour the last time I was there. That might link us to the next topic that we might discuss. But moving on.
Did you visit the club shop while you were there, or did you practice what you preach?
No, the ducks, the bath ducks, the Tottenham bath ducks are still there. Don't worry. But you got to order them online. I don't sell them in the shop anymore.
Would you be frequenting the club shop this time, or do you refuse to put more of your hard-earned Australian dollar in Data Dan's pocket?
COYS data, Dan. I don't know. I might need to refresh the bath ducks, so I'll see if they're in there.
Good stuff. And more exciting news. The Tottenham Hotspur exciting news continues this week as Tottenham Hotspur and NFL announced a partnership expansion. It's a lovely picture of the, how would you say this, Jack? Jaguars?
That's perfect.
You don't pronounce U's properly.
That's correct. Not in Florida.
Jaguars. The Jaguars. So yes, this relationship extended throughout the 2029-30 season. Now, I'm not brilliantly versed on this because I thought we had like a 10-year deal with them anyway. So what was it, like a 1-year extension or something? I have no idea. Anyone help me?
I don't think it's a massive extent. I think it was only like a 1 or 2 year addition to the deal. I don't know whether that's status of the home of NFL, does that mean that we're the only venue that's going to be doing NFL games now? They're not going to do them at Wembley anymore or something like that?
I think no. I think they are still going to be doing them at Wembley, but we are officially recognised as the official home of NFL in the UK, which probably isn't that much recognition given we are the only stadium with an NFL pitch in the UK. But there you go. It's nice, isn't it? Of course, this has got lots of people frothing on Twitter. What a twothy. Davo is. How do you feel about as the resident ENIC outer? How do you feel about the NFL extension? Are you thrilled with this? Are you made up? Can I hear some excitement in your monotone voice?
Well, as you know, look, I think it's another great commercial deal done by the Joe Lewis Family Trust. And it's great news. We, as I said, we're going to be, as the statement says, we'll have a minimum of 2 regular season NFL games a year will continue to be played at the world-class multi-use stadium. So it's great news. So we've won that first trophy. We've extended the deal. We are now the official NFL home of NFL in the UK. And so if you don't mind, if I go back to our good American friend, what's your NFL team, Jack?
I don't have one. I am not an NFL fan. I grew up a Cowboys fan, and I adopted when the Carolina Panthers came into my state many years ago. I began rooting for them, but I have stopped paying attention to the NFL. It's just not my bag, unfortunately.
So when you were at school and you were impressing girls with your Milli Vanilli cassette collection, were you forced to play NFL at school?
No, I never played football. I played baseball and soccer since I was a very young lad.
What's soccer?
Just telling you what they called it, man, when I signed up in 1975.
Could you put them straight then, please?
Say what?
Could you put them straight then, please?
Well, they still call it soccer here because we got the word from you. Just
Yes,
not our fault. It's your fault.
Okay. Look, blame it on your rulers. It's fine. Absolutely no problem with that. Look, I think it's great news for Spurs. Bit more revenue in, and just remember that every pound and penny, every pound and penny spent, raised through whatever venture at the stadium goes straight back into the team.
Back in that team.
Yes, that's how we fund all these amazing transfers, Davo. Bringing such star names as Brennan Johnson into the club. We should touch on there's going to be a second fan demo, Tottenham Hotspur Supporters Trust, against the increase in prices. That is going to be taking place before Sheffield United. Of course, the Cheese Room's view is you should absolutely support this because price rises during a cost of living crisis, and it is a crisis. Lots of people going hungry, lots of people can't afford to pay their rent, and Spurs are putting the price up of people's recreation when they don't need to. It raises about £2 million for a multi-million pound company, in effect. I know you will all have a thought on this, so I will give the floor to you. Jack, I know you need to depart for your trim, so I'll let you go first, and then you can go if you like.
Yeah, so now I realize we've gotten to the point of the show as to why Steve was so tired. And I will say that I am all too as someone who is subject to those prices when I come over. Unfortunately, I'm the type who's going to pay it anyway because one, I am fortunate enough to be able to do so, and I don't get that many opportunities to see matches at the stadium. But I think it was a really appalling decision. I mean, they took a lot of credit for freezing season tickets and then stepped right back around and said, oh, but for the match day games, we're going to increase prices across the board, and not slightly. It was pretty considerable. So it's still, by American standards, tickets are still inexpensive, but from the standpoint of the average fan who's continually in all sports getting priced out of being able to actually watch, which is leading more people to watch from home, which is leading into even more TV revenue, which is doing things to the schedule that Jurgen Klopp complains about. all the time. I don't think it's a great thing. So I would like to have seen the club reverse that decision and hold prices firm. But they're not asking me or anyone on this panel what we think. I don't think that seems unfortunate.
Stuart?
Yeah, I agree. I think it was needless. I'm in a very lucky situation where I've got a season ticket, and I've also, can decide if I want to go to a game and watch it in premium if I want. I'm very lucky in that scenario, but there's plenty of people in my, group of friends and other Spurs fans who can't go to games because of this price rise. And, this isn't just the price of tickets that, needs to be taken into account. It's the rise in travel costs. It's the rise in petrol costs. It's every single sort of element of a fan's journey to a game has gone up considerably. I mean, the thing that I find fascinating about this whole situation is, as Jack alluded to just now, was that the Premier League is the richest league in the world. We have billions in revenue coming into the league from TV rights, sponsorship deals, lots of other elements. The club itself is extremely well off. And we've seen that numerous times. Yet leagues like Bundesliga, who don't have anywhere near the levels of revenue coming in, fans can go to games for €15, €20. Season tickets are well under €1,000. And yet, a team like Bayern Munich, who charge their fans €15 a ticket, can go out and buy a striker like Harry Kane and pay the majority of that in cash as well. So there's some imbalance now that's really sort of gone wrong, and I think we need to try and address that. And I don't see why we can't be the club that leads that, because we've got the money to do it. So my message to Daniel, if I was going to that fan forum next week, would be 1, reverse it, and 2, if not, explain in great detail what are the financial challenges that the club is under for you to make that decision. When you've just signed a deal with F1, when you've just signed a deal with the NFL, when you've got another round of TV rights, which are going to go up again in the very, very near future, because they're going to be going out for full tender. So the rights are going to go through the roof. Champions League being expanded, more revenue from that. There's no reason to do it. There isn't any. So they need to explain it if they're going to stick with it.
Well said, Stuart. See you guys. Have a good night. Yep.
Good luck with the haircut, yeah?
Come on, you Spurs.
Take it easy. Davo, I'll leave the last word to you.
I don't know what it is, right? But you would have thought that anyone who's got a kind of narrative or agenda against the Joe Lewis Family Trust would have put the run sheet in an order where you first talk about winning the Best Stadium of the Year award, then you go on to talk about the new NFL deal, and then you talk about the increase in prices and the demonstration. Who would have done such a thing?
I mean, if you're expecting credit, there won't be any. No,
it's not credit. I'm just, it's the narrative I've put in the theme of tonight's show, right? So, look, I think it's... I think the Trust do a great job. They get a lot of stick for not being, anti or this or pro that enough. Their job is to kind of liaise between the club and the fans. They've done a lot of great work over the years. They haven't got everything right, of course, but no one does. And they're acting here now. They are on the advisory board. I'm hoping that the advisory board and will take this up with the ownership. As I said, the revenue is 2 million here. And considering the amount of revenues that we're getting in from other sources, which of course go straight into the team, it's an unnecessary thing to do. And once again, it shows from a communication side of things, the club have been tone deaf, and they really have. So it's disappointing from that point of view, which might lead us on to next Tuesday's meeting, I believe is taking place, Caller.
Yes, there is a meeting with Danny Boy. Over 4,000 people applied. 250 lucky people have been selected. Do you think they've applied a screening process to that, Davo?
Well, I surprised. I didn't get my invite. I don't understand why that I haven't been asked to come along. Stuart, have you been invited?
I did get the email to go. I applied and I didn't get it. So... what I would say is that anyone who's out there watching or who may watch this in the next few days, I think if I think what should happen at that event is that the consistent action should be from everyone who gets the ability to ask a question is, why have you put the ticket prices up? Make that the theme. There's not many other things that we need to talk about with them. Things are in a largely positive place. We know what their strategy is in terms of revenue growth and all those kind of elements, but make that the point. Make them uncomfortable. I know we want to try and keep things largely positive, and I'm generally one of those people, but I think for this particular reason and this particular topic, I think they need to be held to account massively on this one and explain it, because it was very sort of just standoffish, the response before when they were challenged on it, and I just don't think we should let that lie unless they're lying about our finances.
Well, I think for me, it's more to the point that there's I think, as you've all alluded to, there's so much more money coming into the Premier League shortly. That you could sort the stadium naming rights out. That could offset your costs. The new TV deal will be massive money. We've had new shirt sponsors. We've got an F1 bloody karting track. We've got just extended an NFL agreement. I completely understand that we want to make the team as competitive as possible on the pitch, and we need every penny. But £2 million is like Harry Kane's salary when he was here for a few weeks. I mean, let's be realistic about it. It's not. It's a massive sum of money to your mere mortals like us, but to a club turning over £500 million plus, it's pittance. It's
you'll save that on Eric Dier and Lloris's salary when they run out at the end of June or the end of May. Instantly, that's gone. You've made that money. They're not going to be replaced by anyone that's going to cost that much. So do it.
Ultimately, I look forward to it. There's a live stream on the on Spurs Play.
I don't think
is there?
Not live. It's just highlights.
I thought it was a live stream, actually.
No way they'll do that live. No chance.
Why not?
I don't think they'll be brave enough to have the infrastructure.
I'm sure I read there's a live stream.
No, it's highlights.
It's highlights.
Highlights.
Surely they'll have
heavily redacted highlights.
Yeah. We'll see.
So you don't
have balls cold over any questions that I don't like.
Yeah. I'm about 90% confident it's just highlights from what I read in the email.
I think the key questions are, what is the floor of the new hotel lobby going to be made of? Will the Tunnel Club menu be revamped this year, as steak's getting a little bit samey? And there's a problem with champagne because we've only got Moet and not any Verve on tap anymore in the Tunnel Club. So, we need answers to these pressing questions. That's what I think.
So you've seen Diver's questions that he's going to ask, have you?
I've seen them all.
I had a question.
Oh, that's a shock.
So my question was, which I did put on Twitter this week with my billions of followers, in light of the recent publicity featuring everyone's favourite chicken in a basket singer, Robbie Williams, when will you be announcing his 14 nights residency at the multi-purpose entertainment venue?
That might end you, might it?
I think
Robbie Williams plays at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I think that might end Davo.
I'm all for it. Because you're going to get banned from the Chelsea game that you want to go and see if you're not careful.
Yeah. I would just like to see Davo's face when Robbie Williams, he's doing his swagger and he's belting out angels and he's doing the old "you sing it," with the mic, all of that. And I'd just love that. I just love it. I'd probably buy a ticket just to live stream it to Dave's WhatsApp account. Actually,
I'd love that.
Robbie Williams fan, but I think it'd be fun. Yeah, I'll go with Diver in the Tunnel Club again. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah. I've just checked my email, mate. It is highlights only. For the fan forward.
Selected highlights. Well, look. Thanks, Just Jones, for becoming a YouTube member. You can grab yours from our homepage. Look, we've been going for an hour and a bit. we're going to park it there. I just want to say thank you so much to all of you for joining us tonight. Please do smash that like button. If you're watching on replay, leave us a comment. We will try and reply to as many of those comments as possible. But for now, Davo, thanks all the way from the land down under for joining us.
It's lovely being on. Thank you very much. And let's hope we get a win. And it's a nice, positive, lovely weekend. And it all continues under Ange.
Yeah. And Stuart, thanks for your generosity in taking a fan to the game. And thanks for joining us this evening for your analysis and your time.
No worries. Just a reminder to everyone who's watching, you have to like our YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube, and follow us on Twitter to be in with a chance of the Chelsea ticket. So get liking, get subscribing, keep following the shows, and then at due course, we will announce who's won.
Oh, Dave, I've got a treat for you.
And through it all, we'll play the way we want to, with big edge past the car glue. Whether I'm right or wrong, it's big and ball, so you can keep your Pochettino, Conte and Mourinho, and even Cristian grows, 'cause everywhere we go,
I'm loving Davo instead.
Yeah, we did that on Craig's show the other week.
No, but I just thought it was worth another.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, just to see your face. Yeah.
Yeah, that was great.
Until next time, come on, you Spurs. Get behind the team. Let's win this weekend. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.